Over the years, I've had a lot of cars. Some I've enjoyed a lot, and some I've truly hated. But there has been one that I have always depended on every single time. This one. This one right here. This is my 1991 Mazda MX-5 Miata that I bought in February of 2020. That is 5 years. 5 years of driving a car that I have dreamed about ever since I was a little kid playing Forza Horizon. If you ask anybody from my past what car that I've always wanted, they will always say Miata. And this thing has been a complete dream to own. It has been the most reliable car that I've ever had, even with the new ones that I've had. Last year, I was daily driving a 2014 Honda Civic Si, and it was a great daily driver, but it had a lot of problems. First was the price. That car was ridiculously expensive. I bought it during the height of the huge used car prices back in 2022, and yeah, it's pretty much been eating me alive. And another thing is that car has been in the shop so many times. It's had a lot of problems. So first the AC went out on that car, and then one of the screens went out. The car had to be in the shop 3 times last year, compared to only 2 times for this car at that same year. And if I didn't have that warranty, I probably would have ended up hating that car. So I said that this car has been in the shop twice last year. The first reason was because in March last year, I ended up wrecking this thing on a mountain. And I ended up bending the driver's control arm. I had to replace the entire suspension, not just the control arm, because the suspension was like 30 years old at this point. And I may as well just go ahead and replace everything with new. And that was my fault, really. That was a whoopsie on my part. If I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have had to do it. But ever since the suspension has been replaced, this thing's been driving great. No problems at all, no bad sounds. It's just drives is actually better than what it did when I first got it, in all honesty. And the second time that I had this thing in the shop was to have the timing belt and the water pump done, the 60,000 mile service. I also had the front seal done while he was in there, and it was leaking oil really, really bad. But all that's been replaced, and the car has been bulletproof. I've had no problems with this car ever since. Every time. So, I've been daily driving this car for about 6 months now, ever since I bought that Corvette. And this thing's pretty much been nearly perfect. But I've only had one problem with this car since I bought it. Not since I bought it. Since I started daily driving it. So, if you guys didn't know, this car has been equipped with a cooling system from the factory that helps keep the car running at operating temperature. And with the cooling system, it has hoses just like these. Now, one of those hoses actually went out, and to be honest with you, it was probably one of the most annoying / pain in the ass hoses that could have went out on this thing. This one right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right underneath the intake manifold, not the intake, the exhaust manifold. That was a pain in the butt, but luckily it decided to blow when I was at work. So I was able to go get a new hose from parts, and by the end of the day, I pretty much had it put back together. I left work in a big ass Ford F-250. In my European sized town, it was definitely a pain in the butt. But I was able to come back to work the next day, have the coolant flush by the quick lane, and I was pretty much on my way. Everything was right back to normal. And this thing has not given me any heartaches or any problems drives ever since. Now, I know not everyone can do a Miata as their only car or as their daily driver. I mean, it's a two-seater, it's a manual, and if you live in the US, it's not a crossover or a status symbol pickup truck. I understand. But if you're like me, you're a single guy, you don't have too many friends, and you're a car enthusiast, this car is great. It fills all of my boxes. It does all my errands pretty well. It does all my groceries, and it's never left me stranded after all the years I've owned this car. I mean, for real, this thing's great. It's inexpensive, it's fun to drive, it's economical for what it is. I only have to fill it up like once a week. I mean, it's pretty nice, especially considering how close the gear ratios are on this car. But yeah, this thing's been great. The insurance is pretty cheap, and pretty much just running it is pretty cheap. That Civic that I had, if I didn't have the warranty, it would have cost me $3,000 to have everything that I had replaced on it. But luckily I had the warranty, and it paid for itself. The warranty was only like $1,500. The entire AC system and that screen was both around $3,000. Meanwhile, if something breaks on this car, you're probably just gonna be out around like $300. That's pretty much how much that hose incident costed me. And really, it didn't cost me. I mean, really, I could have gotten it done cheaper. I could have just did the coolant flush myself. But when you're driving a car like this, whenever something happens, it's not going to completely break the bank, but it's just best to make sure you have some money saved up, just in case something does happen. And of course, a car as old as this, something will definitely happen with it. But on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to increase the quality of my videos, and I actually got a whole bunch of equipment to do it with. I got a new mic for the action camera, and I got a new stand for the iPhone camera, and really it's made filming videos a lot more fun. And I even wrote a script for this video. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I've kind of gotten back into enjoying making videos again, and I'm seeing you guys are actually watching them, so I'm going to keep putting them out as much as I can. But if you guys want to see some more content, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll bring some more content to you guys. But for now, if you guys want to, you can enjoy the rest of this drive without me talking in your ear. I hope you guys have a good one.